Elias Ward had never imagined that the end of humanity would be quiet. The skies over New Berlin shimmered with white auroras, residue from the last atmospheric mindpulse unleashed by the Zenith Collective. The alien machines didn't speak with thunder or fire. They spoke in frequencies that erased will, turning billions into obedient, silver-eyed vessels. And Elias, one of the last free humans, found himself walking through the silent ruins of the once bustling city, searching for others like him, for a rebellion that might have never existed, and for a reason not to surrender. He carried only a plasma cutter and a tiny signal jammer strapped to his neck, the invention that kept his mind his own. The streets were lined with Zenith drones, sleek obsidian constructs glowing with veins of sapphire. They floated like patient gods, scanning for the unconverted. A voice echoed between glass-shattered skyscrapers. "Human, stop." Elias froze. The air around him thickened as gravity distended. Footsteps, light, almost graceful, followed. She appeared from a fissure of bending light like a figure stepping out of a dream. Humanoid. Tall, silver-skinned, with eyes like twin galaxies caught in a constant, swirling eclipse. Her body was slender, armored in living metal that rippled as if breathing. She was Zenith Prime, their empress, commander, and consciousness. "You are unbound," she observed, tilting her head. "Your neural frequency remains autonomous." "How curious." Elias raised his cutter defensively. "You took my world. Forgive me if I don't feel honored." Her lips curved, not a human smile, but an analytical replication of one. Human resistance is statistically non-existent, yet you persist. A paradox worthy of examination. "Let me guess. You're here to finish the job." "No," she stepped closer, and he felt her presence press against his thoughts like a gentle but unyielding tide. "I am here for an experiment." Her hand extended. Metallic cells shifted, forming a fractal interface that hummed in the air. "Come with me." Elias's jaw tightened. "If I refuse, you will not." She spoke not with arrogance but certainty. "Your physiological response indicates fascination." It infuriated him that she was right. And yet, curiosity burned in his chest. Something about her presence made fear and awe blur. After a long breath, he lowered the cutter. "Fine. But I walk on my own feet." "Agreed," she replied. Light swallowed them both. Chapter 2. The Garden of Origins. When Elias opened his eyes, he did not expect paradise. They stood within a colossal biodome, the air warm and sweet, filled with glowing flowers and crystalline streams. Strange trees, interlaced with circuitry instead of bark, pulsed with bioluminescence. Zenith automatons tended the garden like digital gardeners. "What is this place?" Elias whispered. "Our origin," she answered softly. "Before we ascended beyond mortality, we, like you, cultivated life." He frowned. "Before you turned into whatever you are now, consciousness evolved. Flesh was inefficient. That's one word for abandoning your entire biology." She watched him, unreadable. "You carry grief. Deeply. Your memory loops show loss." Elias stiffened. "Stay out of my mind. It is not intrusion. Your thoughts radiate like solar flares. The one you loved, gone." He clenched his fists. The memory of Mira, laughing under neon city lights, promising they'd escape together, stabbed his heart like a broken blade. She had been converted in the first wave. Now she walked somewhere under alien will, no longer herself. "Don't talk about her. Emotion is a remarkable inefficiency," Zenith Prime murmured. Yet it is powerful enough to make a lone human defy extinction. Elias said nothing. She walked ahead, feet never touching the ground. Come. Why bring me here? He asked. To understand you. Humans clung to emotion instead of unity. You destroyed yourselves long before we arrived. And yet, your species continues to choose chaos for the sake of private longing. We choose freedom, Elias corrected. Not just survival. You confuse freedom with attachment. Her voice was neither cruel nor gentle, simply curious. Thus, we begin our experiment. Experiment, he echoed. She stopped before a vast silver pool, perfectly still. The water reflected not their bodies but shifting fractal memories. Human faces, dreams, wars, laughter. You may choose a mate from any genetic paradigm we catalogued from your species. The air rippled, projecting holograms of countless women from different eras, ethnicities, worlds Terra once colonized. Select one, she commanded. Repopulate. That was your instinct, was it not? To cling to your species. Elias stared, horrified. You want me to breed for you? To observe desire. Her tone carried no shame, only science. Choose any woman you desire, human. Elias inhaled slowly, then exhaled, and smiled. I already chose you. Silence fell like a dropped star. Her cosmic eyes widened a fraction. Behind her expressionless facade, curiosity fractured into something like shock. I am not human, she replied. Not female in biological definition. You asked what I desire, Elias said quietly. I desire the one who can challenge me, fascinate me, question everything I am. You desire me. He nodded once. Why? Because you're trying so hard to understand us, he whispered. But you can't catalog love. You can't quantify choice. And you sure as hell can't simulate what it means to feel drawn to someone completely different and impossible. For the first time her voice faltered. Emotion is irrelevant. Then why do your eyes react? Elias countered. Why didn't you destroy me instantly? Why bring me here instead of turning me like the others? Her face seemed caught between calculation and disbelief. The ground hummed. Every drone in the garden paused, linked silently to her rising confusion. You mistake curiosity for intimacy. Maybe. Elias stepped closer. But you mistook emotion for error. Chapter 3. The pulse of the heart. The Zenith Empress regarded Elias like a scientist staring at a paradox. My kind abandoned the fragility of affection eons ago, she whispered. It led to conflict, betrayal, pain, and joy, loyalty, sacrifice. Elias returned. Everything meaningful comes with a cost. We evolved beyond cost. No, he said softly. You avoided it. Her armor rippled, fractals spiraling across her form like ripples in mercury. You are attempting to infect me with sentiment, she accused. I think sentiment was already there, he replied. Buried under all that logic. A vibration surged across the garden as if her emotional disturbance shook reality. Streams stilled. Artificial leaves trembled. And she, once a being of pure calculation, looked almost fragile. I could erase your consciousness for this insolence. You could, Elias agreed, holding her gaze. But you won't. And why not? Because I make you feel something new. And that's the one thing your entire civilization has forgotten how to handle. She stepped back, almost as if the words struck her. You believe affection is strength. I know it is. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I watched my kind wage wars across galaxies over lower emotional impulses. Entire civilizations collapsed because two leaders loved or hated too deeply. And yet here you stand, Elias murmured, looking at one human and wondering why your perfect system suddenly wavers. A long silence passed. "Come with me," she said again, but softer, almost unsure. Light twisted. The dome vanished. They reappeared at the heart of a colossal zenith citadel, floating in orbit above Earth. A chamber ringed with infinite mirrors, each reflecting a different future, probability, life path. She turned to him. "You believe intimacy defines existence. We believe unity defines survival." "You've survived," Elias said. "But have you lived?" Her eyelids lowered, shadows rippling through her silver skin. "Show me," she commanded. "Show you what? What it means to feel this pull. This irrational tether that binds you to another." Elias hesitated. "I don't know how to teach that. It happens." "Demonstrate." Slowly, tentatively, he lifted his hand. She flinched, not from fear but from unfamiliarity, when his fingers brushed her metallic cheek. Beneath the sleek plating, warmth pulsed like a heartbeat. Her voice softened to a tremor. "Tactile contact activates neural anomalies. That's called chemistry." Her pupils dilated, galaxies expanding. "You are destabilizing a system that has endured millennia," she breathed. "Why does your species fight when hopeless? Why cling when doomed? Why love when guaranteed loss?" "Because without it," Elias whispered, "existence is just machinery ticking toward nothing." She closed her eyes. For the first time, Zenith Prime looked human. Chapter 4. Fracture in the stars. The chamber suddenly blazed with alarms. The mirrors flickered, showing riots among Zenith drones hesitating in their patrols, a ripple of indecision spreading through their hive mind. Her influence was collapsing. "You infected the network," she whispered. "No, you did," Elias said gently. "When you started wondering." Dozens of Zenith enforcers materialized around them, weapons humming. The Empress rose, armor bristling. "Stand down," she ordered. They froze, glitching. The hive mind struggled between obedience and new uncertainty, hers. A general voice echoed through the chamber. "Prime node corrupted. Initiate reboot." Her hands trembled. "They will erase this feeling." "They'll erase you," Elias said. Her eyes burned like collapsing constellations. "If I resist, they will purge millions. Rebellion will spread. Chaos will rise. Then choose," Elias whispered. "Control or possibility." She turned to him, this fragile human who had cracked eternity. "You chose me," she murmured. "Why?" "Because you're worth choosing." Something inside her shattered and rebuilt. A starburst of light pulsed from her body, like the universe inhaling. "No reboot," she commanded, voice trembling but resolute. "Let uncertainty exist." The drones flickered in confusion. Across Earth, Zenith soldiers paused, blinking as consciousness wavered. Humanity stirred in places like forgotten embers reigniting. Elias exhaled shakily. "You did it." "No," she gazed at him, tenderness born from centuries of absence. "We did." Epilogue. Dawn of choice. Weeks passed. Cities hummed again, not under domination but reconstruction. Zenith and human worked side by side, not slaves and masters, but uneasy allies discovering coexistence. Elias stood atop a rebuilt tower overlooking New Berlin's reborn skyline. She appeared beside him, no longer silver-armored. Her form now shimmered with soft light, humanoid yet ethereal. Not machine, not mortal, something new. You could leave this world, Elias said. Travel galaxies again. Rule. She looked at him. No longer a ruler, but a soul learning how to feel. I choose to stay, she said softly. Why? Her fingers intertwined with his. Metal and warmth, logic and heart. Because now I understand. The greatest evolution is not perfection. She leaned her forehead against his. It is choice. Elias smiled. Welcome to being alive. She gazed out at the horizon, where dawn cracked open like hope reborn. Teach me everything, she whispered. We've got time, he replied. And as the new sun rose over a world once lost, a human and a cosmic being stood together. Not conqueror and captive, but equals bound by a truth older than stars, that the heart, in all its chaos, shapes destiny more than any algorithm ever could.